Okay, good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, is the 22nd day of Sivan, and we're learning today the Tanya, continuing in chapter 7 in Shaar, Yichud, vEmuna. So we spoke yesterday about the different levels of unity of Hashem. And we explained there is the concept of Yichud and Yichud Tata is the higher level of unity and the lower level of unity. And I want to elaborate a little bit on this. What does it mean? The higher level of unity, the lower level of unity.
Hold on 1 second.
And what we're talking about is
that information you should have told me earlier.
So one of the ways we can see the difference between the higher level of unity of Shem, the lower level of unity, is in miracles, the two types of miracles. So you have there are miracles that it seems like they look like natural things, just like they happen to come different circumstances come together, like the miracle of Purim, for example. If you know the story of Purim, you don't see a miracle that shattered the laws of nature. Just so happened, Achashverosh was the king, and Esther became the queen, and so on. We're not going through the whole story now. But then you have another miracle, the miracle of Hanukkah. The miracle of Hanukkah. You have the oil that lit. It was lasted for 8 days in a way that was totally defied all the laws of nature. So this is connected with the Yichud, the higher level of unity. When we're talking about the unity of Hashem, we have the way Hashem is above. You see the name, it's reflected in the name Avaya, the Yud Kei Vav Kei, it's beyond nature completely. And then you have the name Adonai, which is Hashem, the way he lowered himself into this physical limited world, and he inserted himself into this world. As I mentioned, we showed yesterday, when you have the certain Sephardic Sidurim, you have the names of the name Yud Kei Vav Kei, the name of Avaya, that is connected with the name of Aleph Daled Nun Yud. Again, the name Avaya represents God above the nature. Aleph Daled Nun Yud represents the Malchus, the way Hashem gives himself into this world. And in order to give himself into this world, he has to have a world. As we mentioned yesterday and the day before, that Ein Melech B'lo Am, there is no king unless there is a people. Hashem wanted to be king, so for that he needs to create us as separate entities. And our job is to look for the unity, to unite and to find God in the nature. This is what we said, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad is the higher level of unity. Echad is the one. They say when Yaakov Avinu and his children, before he passed away, Yaakov Avinu said, the Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. He had the higher level of unity. And the children, the Shvatim, didn't have that level, that ability to connect to the higher level of unity. And again, the higher level of unity means that completely shattering the laws of nature, that realizing that the real existence is the existence of Hashem, and we are completely nothing. The lower level of unity is, yes, we see ourselves as entities, but we see that Hashem is right here, and every part of us is connected with Hashem's existence. But it's not a complete nullification. So yesterday we focused on the higher level of unity, and today, in today's Shaar, the Alter Rebbe continues with the lower level of unity, the Yichud Tata. So let's see inside. Says the Alter Rebbe. V'inei, af al pi shehu yizborech l'mayla ma'amokim v'azman. Now, although that God transcends space and time, af al pikeinu nimtza gam lemata b'amokim v'azman. Nevertheless, he also is also found below within the space and time. Even as space and time, meaning the dimensions that constitute the world, exist in their own eyes as an independent entities, Hashem is right there also. The Hainu, which means Shemisyached, the Midas Malchusai, Shemimeno Nimshach V'Nisavi Amokim V'Azman. It means that he unites with his attributes of Malchus. And as we said yesterday, the attribute of Malchus is the attribute that gives the ability to create something else. Malchus is compared to the speech. Just like speech is the person communicating with the outside of him, Malchus is the lowest level of the attributes, and that is the level where God shares himself, so to speak, with the one who is outside of him, the creation that he creates. And Hashem unites with his Malchus. And the level of Malchus, this is Shemimena Nimshach V'Nisav Amokim V'Azman, which space and time are derived and come into existence from the Malchus. This state, and this is Yichud Tata, the lower level unity. In this state, created beings are not totally nullified in relation to their source, the attribute of Malchus, in as much as it allows them to be aware of their own existence. And that's what he called Shiluv Avaya Be'adnos Baruch Hu, meaning the intertwining of the letters of the name Havaya within the letters of the name Adnos. In this instance, the divine name Havaya is intertwined and vested within the name of Adnos. So like we showed yesterday, you have the Aleph Daled Nun Yud is the name Adnai. And if you put the Aleph, then you have the Yud, the Aleph first, and then the Yud of Havaya, then the Daled, then the Hey of Havaya, and so on. So the first letter is Adnos. That means this is the more dominant level. That the dominant level is the Adnos, which is the Malchus, which is the creation that Hashem created outside of him, so to speak. But within them, there is the name of Havaya intertwined within it, which indicates the fact that the Adnos itself is connected with Malchus and its source. But what is dominant? Adnai, that level which allows us to sense ourselves and to feel ourselves as separate entities. And what does it mean that when you bring in, you connect the Havaya into Adnos, the intertwine in the Adnos, that says the Ein Shemahu Sevatzmus Yisborach Hanikra B'Shem Ein Sof Baruch Hu, meaning the essence and being, which is called by the name Ein Sof. The infinite one, this completely fills the whole earth temporally and spatially, meaning fills the world in the dimensions of time and dimensions of space. כי בשמיים ממעל ובארץ ולדלת סיטרים, הכל מלא מאור אינסוף ברוך הוא בשווה ממש. For in the heavens above and the earth below, and in all four directions, everything is equally permeated with the Ein Sof light. כי כך הוא בארץ מתחת, כמו בשמיים ממעל, for God is to be found in the earth below exactly as in the heavens above. כי הכל הוא בבחינס מוקים, הבוטל במציאוס באור אינסוף ברוך הוא, for everything, including both heaven and earth, is within the dimensions of space, which is utterly nullified in the Ein Sof light. המסלבש בוי על ידי מידס מלכוסו יסבורך, על ידי מידס מלכוסו המיוחדס בוי יסבורך, which clothes itself in it through the attribute of Malchus that is united with him. Yes, it is united with Hashem, but the Malchus, we don't see it that way. For us, we see ourselves as separate entities. Why? Because the level of Malchus is the level of Tzimtzum. They're not nullified because God's attribute of Malchus is the attribute of Tzimtzum and concealment. The Hastir Oir Ein Sof Baruch Hu, its function is to hide the Ein Sof light so that it will not be perceived by the created beings. Because if it wouldn't be that way, then time and space would not exist. As we learned yesterday, that the attributes, the higher attributes before Malchus, they are above space and time. So the existence of time and space should not be completely nullified, and there will be no dimension of time and space whatsoever, even for the lower worlds. Meaning, it is only because the concealment affected by Malchus that time and space exists for created beings. And this is what we see, as I mentioned yesterday, in the Beis Hamikdash. We saw that godly revelation. You know, when Yaakov Avinu came to that place, he says, "Ochein yesh avaya b'mokim hazeh v'anochi lo yadati." That Hashem is there, meaning avaya is the level also of above limitations. So this is when we see it in the Beis Hamikdash also, as I mentioned yesterday, the fact that you have the space and infinity together at the same time. When the place of the ark was limited in space, at a certain measurement, and yet it didn't take space in the room. Because this is the idea, the shilov of avaya, this is the Yichud Ilah, the higher level of unity that Hashem showed in this world. And our job is to reveal this godliness. How is this done? Through Torah mitzvahs, by revealing the purpose of everything in this world and the godliness in everything in this physical world. This is our job. To bring the Yichud, that's what we say every day in the morning. We say, Lashem Yichud Kutsha Brichu Shchinte. L'yachd Hashem Yud-Kei B'Vav-Kei, that we need to unite the name of Yud-Kei with the Vav-Kei, the higher level of unity with the lower level of unity. And doing this, step by step, everyone does his job, his portion, no matter how small or how big it is. That's how we bring the world to a better place, and that's how we bring the revelation of Mashiach. Thank you so much for joining. We'll continue tomorrow, B'ezrat Hashem, 9:15.